It's Sunday morning again in Bali, and I am so excited that it is finally a sunny Sunday morning. So I'm going to wait for just a little bit while some people get online, and I have some really interesting discoveries that I've made in the last few days. So I'm going to share them. They're not exactly what I might have expected to share today. So I hope they come out in an intelligent order or in a decent order so that they make sense. But I'm going to begin, and I use the word that Stephen hates worse than anything, but. And I'm going to begin with only one bowl this morning. Just gong it once or twice, and I'll explain why. I'm also going to ring the two bells, but I'm only going to strike them rather than ringing them. Just checking my time a little bit. So every Sunday, while I'm doing my preparation for this Facebook Live, I look at the video from the week before. And this past week, I was shocked to see that I was so mellow. It was as if my energy was just, it was not that it was low so much, but rather that it was just mellow. And I thought back to what I had done at the beginning of the video. And I played 3 bowls and a bell. And I was so mellow that I truly did not have that oomph to really sound excited. So I started playing with the frequencies this week. And I learned that actually this last bell that I played, that Mangku gave me, golly, almost 12 years ago, I think, maybe more, that bell has the same frequency, the same tone as earth, the earth tone. I've been playing around. I have a little app on my phone that has tones in there, and I played them to see what tones I was playing. So I will do that in the future so I don't put you all to sleep. So at any rate, when the title today is spinning off the dissonance. And the way I came up with that is a roundabout way. However, it is all about what happens to our energy when we interact with anything else. It's not who we interact with, it is what we are interacting with. So the first thing that I'm going to say that I am doing more and more of, Stephen reminds me, we remind each other that it's the grounding, this earth sound. The grounding is just totally the most important thing that we can do. And when I say grounding, it's connecting with the source, and it is also connecting with the earth itself. So whatever your particular essential oils, single oils, or blends are that you use, I thought, well, of course, the grounding blend is a good choice. And I'm going to use some of these while we're talking. Who knows what, I was listening to the tones, I'm sorry, and did not turn my other phone off because that app requires the volume. So I'm breathing in the grounding, and what am I doing while I'm breathing in this grounding blend? I am intending to make that connection with the source through the crown chakra, to ground to the earth, through the bottoms of my feet and the base of my spine, intending that those connections become stronger and stronger with every single breath. Now, this is important. Now, I chose the grounding blend first because that's the way I happen to set them up. Everyone probably here knows what my favorite grounding blend is, and that is Sacred Mountain. I use it multiple times a day. And there are others. I have 3 others sitting here, 4 others right here, which I'm not going to use all right this minute. Higher Unity. We got our things down from Singapore, and I discovered a bottle of Higher Unity, this precious blend, in the things as I began unpacking boxes. And this to me is very exciting. Some of you may choose Valor or Valor 2. How many of you love that blend for grounding, for giving you the courage to move forward? Every one of us has a choice in every moment as to what we're going to choose to do. And being strong, courageous to do what we know deep inside is the appropriate thing for us at the moment. If we are feeling any fear, or if we are feeling unbalanced, it means that something has happened with our connection. So that's where this spinning off the dissonance is, because we can be in great shape. We can have done our awakened, feeling wonderful, do our morning alignment practice, and really be in just super shape. And something without our knowledge can just cause us to feel differently. How many times have you felt that? Well, one of the things that can happen is that we can allow things into our sacred space. And the other thing, which I forget about mostly, is that we can allow leakages, our energy to just leak out without realizing it. So that's where this spinning off the dissonance. And first thing I'm going to say is that this is a practice that I haven't done enough recently, and I did it this morning before I began. This is the White Angelica. Now, White Angelica, how many of you love using White Angelica every single day? Gary Young created that particular blend with in mind that it was like a shield. It's like putting on your clothing before you go out, so that it's like our boundaries with the sacred space. And I am going to use a lot more of the White Angelica. And this is the way I'm going to use it today, because I tried this morning and it really felt good. Thank you, Stephen, because this is an adaptation, perhaps, of the pairing of the ways, which he is always telling me it's something that I require, because I'm oblivious so much to what is going on. If I do my checking in, I feel that I forget that in the flash of a second, in one moment, things can change totally. Have you noticed that? So, applying the white angelica and breathing it in, you may choose to just brush it over your whole field. Gary says to brush it across our shoulders, down our arms, to envision a shield of this beautiful frequency over our entire being. And now, this is the pairing of the ways, which some of you may have seen in previous videos or in our journey book or the Journey 2 book, if you already have that. And it is where one hand is placed up and the other one, just gently moving your hands with that intent of feeling that energy, of energizing your hands. And when you do feel that energy, that tingling between your hands, it happens much more frequently for me when I'm using the essential oils on my palms first, than to bring it up and brush over your field. Then there's just gently, as if you were smoothing out fabric. I love doing this. This is a wonderful, wonderful way to get rid of headaches. Do any of you experience headaches more often these days? It's whatever it is. Another thing that you can do in terms of this is to place your right hand on your forehead, your left hand on the base of your skull, or if you choose, do it the other way. It's not imperative. And just intend that these frequencies move throughout your entire being, coming in through your right hand, going out through the left hand, coming in through the left hand, going out the right hand. Feel the energy moving. And then the other steps that Stephen loves to do with the pairing of the ways is that as you are moving your hands slowly, like this is to visualize that we are clearing out the bone level, the very core of your being, clearing out, straightening out that DNA that may have been messed up, tangled up a little bit. And then once you feel comfortable, you may choose to do small circles, focusing on the blood level, intending that all of the levels of your blood, that blood level, that anything that is not supposed to be in there, that's not moving you forward, be cleared out. And then we get all the way out to the energy field, and we can just intend to clear out whatever little things are in the energy field, to smooth out everything. Again, remembering that gentle smoothing thing. So, if any of you have done this along with me, do you feel differently now? If it may take practice. You may feel nothing in your hands, and that is fine. I remember so well my very first seminars where people were feeling everything and I felt nothing, I saw nothing, I heard nothing. So it's all just intent. And of course, our oils anchor your intent. How often did Gary tell us this, that the oils are capable of holding intent? So what you're thinking about when you are applying your oils will vastly change the effect that they may have on you. holding your essential oil, single oil or blend in your hand, focusing on that little bottle, intending that those molecules hold whatever is required, whatever you require at any given moment, and that they go wherever you choose, wherever they are required most. So, back to the spinning off. How do we spin off this dissonance? We've talked about clearing a little bit with our hands and our focus and, of course, the essential oils. When I drew my cards, I draw cards all the time, and I do them on the app. Those of you who have the app, because I can screenshot them and carry them with me. I also, because I'm a touchy-feely person, I also pull out my cards and I place them where I will see them every time I pass by our meditation table or my desk. I have multiple decks of cards, of course. So, what cards did I draw today? Well, I drew the air element. So we're going to talk about that air element. I also, the three cards that I selected on the app, I selected the structure glyph. Look at there. It's in the air element. And I also selected the performer archetype. And the performer is all about focus, continued focus on improving, on honing the skills. And this reminds me that how important my focus is on checking in, because things do change so rapidly. Now, the fact that this card, this glyph appears in this element means to me, it shows me that this is a really important aspect. So I actually went to my Rainbow Healing Cards guidebook, because I wanted to read what I wrote many, many years ago and just see if I'm saying things. And sure enough, when one anchors the pink lavender frequencies of structure into the cells of the biology and into the DNA, as well as the form and the energy field, the movement of the field will become more gentle. This energy flow will, here are those three words, spin off dissonance. Allowing one's truth to emerge and allowing the ability to potentially anchor more energy and information. Wow. Spinning off the dissonance. By focusing on this particular shape, the color, and who knows which essential oil, single oil, anchors this frequency. If you thought lavender, you're absolutely right. Using that lavender, focusing on spinning your entire field in the appropriate manner for you. And you don't have to know what that energy signature is like, what it looks like. The only thing that's important is that you are running your true energy signature. And you and the source know exactly what your true energy signature is. Our energy signature is much like our fingerprints. It's unique to us. No one else has the same energy flow. And that is a blessing. It is also a challenge, because often we choose to allow the energy of others into our field, which is going to diminish the power of our true energy signature. And At other times, we're going to allow it to seep outward. The only way we know what is really happening in our field is to check in. And this is something that I forget. I'm not immune to forgetting. I forget that this is the most important thing. One of the ways I was reminded to do this more often, to check and see where my energy is that with my various injuries, Stephen constantly reminds me before I go down the steps or up the steps or before I go do anything, he says, where is your energy? Is it at a 10? Well, what is a 10? Well, a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being very, very low, probably not able to walk, 10 being off, at the peak. I would rather be at 11 personally. So at any rate, it's important for us to pay attention to where our energy is. Now, I get my energy up to 10 or 10 plus before I begin the video. However, while I'm talking, it may drop, and it's important for me to be aware. So that's what I'm cautioning you to do today, to be aware, to just check, play with your kinesiology. It's on the website. You can look at my videos. You can look at videos. There are so many ways, and practice it. There's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no right or wrong way. As long as you're checking in, it's important to check. And don't say, oh, I don't know, I'm not feeling it right. You are feeling it right if you're paying attention. The simple process, the simple practice of paying attention. So, I have rambled on for a while. However, I'm going to also go on about the air element, because the air element is all about bringing in new ideas and getting rid of the ones that are not supporting you. It's that flow of energy in and out, in and out. So this awareness of what is coming in is key, as well as the awareness of what is going out. The words that we use is, what are you taking on for what's coming in? What's getting through our filters, that red boundary, the gold and the silver frequencies that we are setting up around our sacred space as a protective layer. What's getting through, coming in or going out? So we use that taking on for things that may be coming in. Or, Stephen loves this word, and I've gotten to where I love it too, sapping. Now that's one of the big things for me. I allow things to leak out of my energy field. So I check to see if my energy's not at a 10. Is it something that I've taken in that doesn't belong? Or is it something that I have allowed to leak out of my field, that it's been sapped out of me? Just this simple awareness of where it's going and that intent to bring your energy back to that higher level is going to make a huge difference in what is happening to you as we go through these somewhat interesting times that we have right now, that we've been having for the past year. This is a very interesting, also, it's an interesting time because we're in a Mercury retrograde, which is where everything seems to slow down and things don't necessarily fit together properly. It's like they get tangled up. We're also this week is a brilliant full new moon. It's Chinese New Year that many of us in Asia are celebrating. It is a beautiful beginning, getting rid of the things that didn't work, and another beautiful beginning, high energy. Many planets are lined up to help us move forward. So on one side, we've got the retrograde pulling us back, and on the other side, we have this energy moving us forward. So it's so important for us to be aware, to pay attention to what we do choose to have. And with this particular element, I decided to look in our Journey 2 book. So excited because we have the Journey 2 book now. And I noticed these questions. I actually wrote them down on a piece of paper, but they're right here in the Journey book. And I'll read from my piece of paper because it's easier than holding the book up in front of me. How do you allow others to influence your decisions? This is just something to reflect upon. This air element is going to give you that opportunity to bring in new things and let go of the things that are no longer serving you. It's also important not to get lost in the middle, but to make sure that you still have that connection with the source and are listening to your guidance from the source. So how do you allow others to influence your decisions? How do you resist bringing in new ideas? This may not apply to you, but it may be a key in your moving forward. Is there a fear of giving up old beliefs, even though they may not be valid now? And then how might you be choosing to remain stagnant and in the prison of your self-limiting beliefs? So I challenge you this week to, amid all the other busyness that is going on, to take time to check in, see where your energy is, whether the energy, make sure that you're connected with the source, listening to your true guidance, rather than listening to the guidance of others. So have a beautiful, beautiful week with lots of special things happening, magical experiences every single day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.